everyone. My name is Gracie Barnhill. I am the chair of eXp Young Professionals. And today we are joined by an incredible mastermind guest, the one and only Tsai. John's team did about $280 million in volume last year against all odds in a market that was historically very low. So I'm so excited. John, I'm going to let you go ahead and introduce yourself, and then we'll dive right in with questions.
Yeah, thanks for having me. And, I've been in real estate now 20 years. Well, sorry, my 20th year. I just had my full 19-year anniversary, July the 16th. And it's been a journey. There's a lot of ups, and there were many, many downs, most of which happened in my head. And I'll share that with you guys in a little bit here. But I'm just a guy who's been through some stuff and have stepped in a lot of potholes. And I'm going to share with you today how to avoid some, how to move faster, and how to scale your business in spite of whatever's going on in the market. So thank you for having me.
Absolutely. We're so excited to have you, John. You were one of our #1 most requested guests. John, you took on the role of eXp Canada president while running a massive team and growing a massive team. What was the single biggest shift you had to make going from this solo/team leader to national president? And how do you balance those two hats?
Yeah, it was a struggle because you got to know that just because you're a high producing real estate agent doesn't mean you're a great leader, and doesn't mean you know how to recruit, doesn't mean you know how to manage your team. So you had to learn separate skills, right? So you know how to list property, you know how to take around a buyer, and then next you have to know how to talk to agents, how to attract agents, and how to retain agents. That's a whole other set of skills that I had to learn. And in the beginning, it was selling a lot of real estate, and then I had to support a lot of people. So it was kind of like I was taken away from my production to support my team, and then my production went down and the team wasn't productive, right? So I had to struggle through that. And then, slowly but surely, I'm not saying I figured it out. I'm not saying I have it all handled even right now. But the thing is, I'm willing to move fast. I'm willing to make decisions faster. So, if we're not being disrupted, I got to disrupt myself. We're constantly tweaking. We're constantly improving our systems, constantly progressing, constantly giving ourselves feedback. And, if you want to really balance your production versus training, coaching, and recruiting a team, it's all about systems. But I always say this: it's all about systems, and then it's about the end in mind. So an agent reached out to me on Instagram. He said, well, should I keep it small team right now and just do a bunch of listings and have people support me, or should I go big team and then get out of production? I said, okay, great. Think about this for yourself. Think about what you want in 10 years, what your business looks like, who you are, what you want to do, what you're spending your time doing, what you want to do. And then you can reverse engineer to today. Okay, well, if that's what I want in 10 years, well, this decision right now should be pretty easy because it's very clear. But most people don't have their 10-year vision really clearly. So they have all the options in front of them, which all look great. Does that make sense? So that's how I balance it. And, I said a lot there. Hope you guys got some of it.
No, that makes a lot of sense. I think especially like the 10-year vision part that really hits. I'll ask, 10 years ago, did you see yourself where you are right now?
I wrote out a 10-year vision, 2018. I wrote down that I was going to own a brokerage, that I would have 5,000 agents, that I would have, production team, that would be selling 400 to 500 homes, and whatever that team looked like, right? So when it's that clear, I then can really make decisions on what I need to do today. Now, don't be attached to exactly how you want it to look like. Be attached to the things that are right in front of you and hold the vision of the intention of that goal strongly, yes. But because, 2018, I wasn't even exposed to eXp yet, right? And I'm like, and I start thinking, how am I going to get to 5,000 agents? Then you start to get into doubt, fear, anxiety about how to do it. But when you have your vision and your why and your what so clearly, the how becomes very self-apparent. So then when eXp came along, when I wrote down the vision, it was like June 2018, and boom, eXp came along. And right now I'm on my way to 5,000. I'm not there yet. I have 3 years, right? I have 3 years to build a brokerage of 5,000 people. Right now I'm at 1,400. But eXp gave me the vehicle. I didn't know eXp was going to come about. I didn't know like all these people and all these things and all these systems were going to be presented to me. But as long as I have my vision so clearly, and I'm not attached to exactly how it's going to look, then you can flow. Right. So I wrote down a 10-year vision. I did. And we're fulfilling that. But it doesn't look exactly what I wrote down, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And it's really cool. It's been cool to watch, eXp Canada grow. The international expansion is really important to us at YP. So it's been exciting to watch that process for you or through you. Now, I want to go into the big, wow thing for us when we were considering what questions to ask. Talk to us about this insane $280 million in volume year. What kind of systems and culture do you credit the most for hitting that number?
I always say it's people, and it comes back to communication. If you can talk to people, you can create systems. You can hire people easier if you know how to communicate with people. So when I was doing 149 deals in a year, I was a solo agent. And I'm like, there's no way I'm doing this again. Physically, I cannot handle it, which I didn't, right? And then I recruited 2 agents and I went down to 137. And then we went to 4 agents. The next year, 2018, I went down to 99 deals. I'm like, okay, that's where it was. It was like production going down, team going up, but the team wasn't productive yet. So then I had to learn leadership. So I took a 2-year leadership course with Landmark Worldwide. Okay, and that's when eXp came along as well. It was crazy. So my team went from 7 to 20, and from 20 to 30. And then from 30, this is the kicker right here, when I became eXp president, I had to let myself go. Meaning, I had to fire myself from being the team manager. And because I was flying around 3 to 5 times a month, doing my thing with eXp president, that someone came along to fill the gap. And that someone was Axel. Axel was a godsend that just, all of a sudden appeared in my life and was like, I'm closing down my brokerage and I want to work with you. I'm like, let's do it. How about we run the team together? And we've been working ever since 2023, and we actually started a coaching company together. Some of the clients are on this call, so thank you very much, guys. And that journey of like going from solo to building a team of up to 80 agents. Now we're back down to like 68. You win some, you lose some, right? What I would say is that Axel and I really focus on this one thought. Again, very long-winded answer for you, Gracie. I
love it.
It's if you help enough people get what they want, you'll eventually get what you want. I think it's Zig Ziglar said that. Okay.
Yeah.
So if I'm focused solely every single day, guys, on contributing to others, helping others get what they want, I can't think about my own problems and worries. I'm too busy to be worried. I'm too busy to help others. And when you take the focus off of yourself and help others, then your business actually grows. Some people are like, no, I need to focus more on myself. No, 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 no. Focus more on others, contributing to others. You'll eventually get exactly what you want. Right. And I even in 2023, I rebranded my whole team. And that's when it blew up too, because I took my team from the Tsai group, which was all about me. 149 deals myself was all about me, all about John. You work for me. You eat off of my scraps. Sound like an a-hole, but the thing is, when I switched it around, I took the name out of my team and became the Align Group. That's when it started blowing up. And I switched my mindset to, wait a minute, when you come in, it's not about you giving me what I want from you, your production. It's about you having what you want. Tell me your goals and let me help you achieve that. And that's all we're doing, is helping people. So I hope that makes sense. Again, very long-winded.
That's not long-winded at all. That's what we want to hear from you. You really have masterminded this growth and volume, and you've done it all while maintaining this incredible online presence on social media. Like you're right under 250,000 followers. It's a lot of people, a lot of eyes on you. Despite that workload and that, all of those eyes on you, there's a video you did with Glenn Sanford on your Instagram where he applauds all of the travel that you did, going and meeting people, and you just mentioned it. And so I want to ask, how important was that to you to go show face? Well, we are a cloud brokerage, but you were there and in the room. What impact did that have on you? And what impact do you hope it had on those other people?
Wow. Okay. So Real Broker came along here in BC, and I was like, I'm not going to let them have any sort of momentum. I'm, at the end of the day, we're all competitive people, and I'm just gonna, say it out loud that I was pissed. I was just pissed. Like, they were taking market share, gaining momentum. You know what? I lost in one shot 20 agents in my organization. They all went to Real. I was like, no, I'm going to outwork them. I'm going to out-event them. I'm going to out-social media them. I'm going to outdo. If you get on a treadmill, this is what Will Smith said. If you get on a treadmill beside me, it's either I die or you get off the treadmill. And I had that mentality. And all of a sudden, Glenn calls me and he says, just out of nowhere, when everything was going haywire, he's like, John, I got this positioning opening up in Canada. It's the eXp president of eXp Canada president. Would you like to have the position? I said, of course. And it really fulfilled my intensity at that time. I'm like, okay, this is what I need to do. I need to out-event them. He said to me, John, you need to be all over social media. I said, okay, great. I'm going to out-social media them. I'm going to out-prospect them. I'm going to out-recruit them. I'm going to out-produce them. You can't outwork me. It was my mentality. Okay. So from that intensity, I flew 3 to 5 times a month. I spoke everywhere, and it was all about pouring into others. It was all about, and the market was going straight down, Gracie. The market was going like this. And, in the beginning of 2023, in 2022, my bank account was $800,000 cash. I was like, I got this. Whatever. In 2023, January, all of a sudden, I find myself $150,000 in overdraft. Ooh, how did that happen? And then I said, you know what? Again, take the worries off of myself, and I got to go and contribute to others. So that's why I started to fly around. And I believe, like, if you, again, take the focus off of yourself, your own worries, and you just go out there and you execute, you take massive action, you focus on what's important, which is right in front of you, instead of what hasn't happened or what already happened. Because the only thing you have is now. So go do it now, right? Go do what you need to do right now, the tasks today, and not worry about the future, not worry about what happened in the past. And that's what I did all of 2023. And I believe that I fulfilled that intention of pouring into others, growing eXp Canada. and I was completely burnt out, and my kids didn't even know who I was. So I said, I'm good. I'm good. So I'm back into production, back into contributing to my community locally. And I'm still flying around 1 to 2 times a month. Don't get me wrong. But, now my priorities are my health, first and foremost, my family, second, and then business will flow as a result of me focusing on the right priorities. I hope that helps.
I love how much you talked about connecting with other people, outperforming real, that motivation of, I love the Will Smith, the succeeding out of spite. I'm familiar with that quote, you're not going to outwork me. And I just really love that. So how do you best identify when you're trying to connect with someone? How do you identify where to find that connection with someone? How do you identify what they're needing?
You ask a lot of questions, right? And you have to ask really pointed questions based on what they say as well. Don't ask the questions that you want to ask based on what you want to know about them, but flow with the question, flow with their answers, and really just have it in conversation with people. And selling, guys, is not telling. If you talk a lot, you're not selling. Selling is not really even asking questions. Selling, however, I think is listening intently, but listening intently to understand, not listening to immediately answer because you want to say something, which goes back to telling a lot. Okay. So when you connect with people, it's all about listening and then asking the right questions to really truly understand what they're looking to achieve. And that's a skill that I believe that you will never perfect. It's a skill that is progressive realization of who you want to become, which is a great communicator. And if I declare that I'm a great communicator every single day, then I'm going to get better at listening. I hope that makes sense. So talk a lot, don't learn about people. Talk very little, have other people talk, then you'll learn a lot. If you want to be interesting, you got to be interested in the other people first.
I love that people first mindset too. I think that's something eXp really focuses on, which is probably why you were #1 pick, right?
I don't know why I was, but I do think that I have the energy and I have the enthusiasm, and Glenn saw something in me that, I was already all over social media. So he's like, okay, well, why don't we just have him be the figurehead? Right. And I was all for it. So, again, I obviously, yes, I see why he chose me. But I don't really know why deep down.
You wear all these different hats: president, agent, team owner, father, content creator. You have to get really good as someone who wears all those hats at delegating. So it's a two-part question. What is one thing you absolutely insist on delegating? And what's something you absolutely will not delegate?
Ooh, that's a great question, actually. I believe that if you're a real estate sales agent, you must delegate when you can, when you have the funds, delegate all the admin, right? As much as possible, right? And as a real estate agent right now, if you're in production, you need to focus on only 4 things and 4 things only. Well, I'm not going to say 4 things only. It's 75% of your business. You focus on lead generation, lead follow-up, going on appointments, and negotiating contracts. That includes getting price adjustments on your listings, right? Those are the things that you need to focus on 75% of the time. And everything else, I'm going to work on my website. I'm going to go and, work on a flyer. I'm going to go do some paperwork. I need to get on SkySlope. That's 25% of the time. I get it. Not 100% of the time you're going to focus on lead generation, income generating activities. But if you can go 75% income generating, 25% income servicing, then I think you're winning. So that's how I would look at it.
I love that you've got a formula for it. That's really clever, really good way of thinking it through. Now, you do coaching, you've been a mentor, you've got a lot of agents that you've recruited. At eXp Young Professionals, obviously a lot of us are new or we're very young. For a lot of us, this is our first career. If you could give a young professional one big piece of advice, what would you say?
I got a really long-winded answer for you. So
I love long-winded answers. They're my favorite.
I went and spoke in Maui, and my wife told me that she went to the road to Hana. Okay, the road to Hana was this long-winded road, right? And Michael Ireland, our friend, who's also eXp agent, he drove the whole way. It was like 3-hour drive, and she slept the whole way. And she went to the road to Hana, and then as she woke up, it was the dilapidated village. It was just, it's not pretty. And she's like, what, why do we drive 3 hours to get here? But guys, the road to Hana was the heavenly journey that you needed to pay attention to, instead of the dilapidated destination that you've so been yearning for. Because guys, I made $1 million my first time in 2016 as a solo agent. I was like, this is going to be magical. And sure enough, once it passed the $1 million mark, guess what? I won 1.5. Immediately, it was like 30 seconds, Gracie. So for any young professional listening to this right now, you are going to hit your goals. I promise you, you will hit your goals. But why make it such suffering, torture, mental anguish to get to your goals? Rather, enjoy and stay awake for the road to Hana. Because the destination might not be as pretty as you think. So as a young person, right now I'm 45 years old. I would tell my 26-year-old self when I first started real estate, pay attention every single day, enjoy the journey, and have fun. If it ain't fun, don't do it. I hope that makes sense.
I love that answer. Wow. So you're talking about really enjoying the journey. That's really clever. I know people look at Leo Perea, and he's somebody I really admire, and he says something similar. And so it's interesting to hear top people like yourself who say you've really got to enjoy the journey to Ohana. I love it. I know we are closing in on the time we'd asked for, so I want to look through some of these questions. Andrew, have you had time to see, by chance, if there were any super must ask?
Yeah, so this one from Anna Lisa. What advice do you have for me as a new agent 2 months in the business?
Yeah, I wrote down on my threads today, if you focus on lead generation, 2 hours of uninterrupted lead generation time every single day, Monday to Friday, and I know you're going to do open houses, right? If you just focus on that as a new agent doing lead generation, you will not have to worry about your pipeline, right? First of all, you need to work hard. There's no way around it, okay? Work hard, then you can start to work smart. But there's no way around working hard. I'm sorry. I don't want to sugarcoat anything for you. So get after it.
I love that. Here's another one from Brian Booth. What type of prospecting systems do you use for listings and buyers?
Yes. So for buyers, I never really focused on buyers, but here's the thing. When you are prospecting for listings, you are going to get buyers. I, since 2009, declared that I was a great listing agent, and sure enough, buyer referrals will come. Okay. So you want to declare that you're a great listing agent because the listing agents out there in the marketplace are the employers of the market. The employees of the market are the buyer's agents, because I can sell 10 listings in a day if they're all priced right, but I can't. Well, it's really, really hard to get 10 buyers in escrow in one day. You're going to be super exhausted. And imagine how many buyer tours you need to go on. So focus on listings and you will get the buyers as a result. So what I focused on, keep it very simple. Expired listings for sale by owners, just listed, just sold, door knocking or calling, okay? And then your past client center of influence, family and friends. And today we have online leads. And recently we're working on this instant offer thing, which has been a gold mine for a lot of our agents, right? That's something new that we're looking into. And my program, the coaching program, is called List More, Close More. So, we're all about talking about how to get more listings. But if you're a new agent, go to the high rejection stuff. Expired listings for sale by owners. Ton of them right now. For sale by owners, there's no way they're selling themselves. Expired listings already failed. Give them a call. See if you could help. And if you just do those two at a high level and you get good with being rejected, you are going to win big. And for the young professional, the Gen Zs, guys, nobody's willing to work hard. I'm just going to keep it real. But if you are willing to work hard, the world is yours. I've seen it happen. It's like the top 0.1% take all the market share out there in the Gen Z generation. So keep it simple. Just do the very simple sources that I just gave you.
John, we are at the end of the time you had committed to, so I want to be respectful of that time. Is there any closing piece of information you want to leave everybody with that's watching?
Well, I think, recently I've been thinking about this. Don't be attached to the outcome. Really contribute to others. Have fun in the journey, right? And just focus on what's in front of you and just have fun with it, right? If you try too hard, you find yourself trying too hard, chasing too hard, anything. If you chase anything too hard, Gracie, let me ask you a question. If a guy chases you too hard, you have no interest, what do you do? When I chase you, what are you going to do?
Stop responding, probably.
You're not responding. Same with your goals, same with your money, same with anything that you want in life. What you chase must run away. So don't chase. Attract by becoming a better you. Thank you very much.